Hey guys, it's Plotsalot here with another My Hero Academia What If video, and today we are going to be continuing the What If Deku was at the Avatar series with part 7. So in the last part, we were in the middle of a fight, and Deku just gave us a little smile. Even though things are tense, he hears that the Nomu can absorb shock. So he can absorb shock, and he smirks Deku, responding to Shigaraki's threat to destroy him and how he's never going to beat the Nomu. Shigaraki scratches his neck in agitation. That means nothing to you, brat. You'll stop smiling in a moment. Nomu, kill him now. The Nomu stomps his foot into the ground where Deku's head was a moment ago, before Deku slides himself away just in time to dodge the attack that would have otherwise crushed his skull. So he's strong, fast, and he can absorb shocks. That leaves only a few options open, says Deku confidently, all the ideas of how he could possibly beat this villain rushing through his head. Shigaraki's nerves are really being ticked off by how much confidence Deku's actually exuding in this, since he's had a quirk, since he's actually still pretty similar, but just a lot more confident in this. He's not taking too nicely to how well Deku's actually handling the situation. Cockiness isn't going to win you this one, kid, and you used up your energy with that big fireworks show earlier. You lose, before laughing to himself maniacally. Deku, still being chased by the Nomu, notices the transparent dome atop the giant creature's head, with a brain inside. Deku has a little light bulb moment, and slowly starts to gather a swirling ball of air into his left hand, compressing the vortex and aligning the currents repeatedly into a near perfect sphere of rotating air, just continuing to dodge the attacks of the Nomu all the while as he charges up this attack. Deku knows that this attack, it's his last chance, and so he takes some time to make sure that this attack is as strong as possible. A few minutes go by and Deku's starting to tire out. The Nomu's barely even broken a sweat despite the whole high-paced battle going on and how much Deku's trying to throw at him. He's putting his all into this, just trying to buy himself time. Bakugo awakens to see Deku ducking under a punch by a hair's width, the Nomu's fist connecting to the wall to the side of Deku and smashing through half a meter of solid stone as if it weren't even there. He's strong. He might even be stronger than me, thinks Bakugo to himself. Wait a minute, what am I saying? If Deku can keep up with that thing, then you sure as hell bet that I can. I'm future #1 hero and I've got All Might's power plus my own awesome power. I can do this. Bakugo thinks to himself confidently that he can do this. You know, this all rushing through his head, and even though he's just gotten back up after being essentially knocked out, he slowly gets to his feet and decides to yell to Deku, "I've got this. Just take a seat, loser." Deku jumps back as far as he can and yells, "I'll take you up on that for a second. I just need to catch some air," winking at his friend, while continuing his slow charging of his attack. "Ready for round 2, bird freak," screams Bakugo at the Nomu. "You're next too, handy," he yells at Shigaraki before activating his full cowling at 12%, leaping over the Nomu's head and delivering an explosive palm strike to the Nomu's ankle, causing the Nomu to step forwards a bit, but only a little bit. The Nomu turns around and punches the spot that Bakugo was in a moment before, impacting the ground and leaving a large crater, Bakugo having jumped just in time to dodge that devastating attack and flying upwards with his explosions from his palms. Bakugo angles his palms towards the ground, but angles his other palm away from the Nomu, pushing him up and on top of the Nomu. Bakugo raises both of his arms into the air and claps his hands together as he falls, letting an explosion brew between them and containing it between his hands, using one for all to power it up all the way. As he flips himself downwards, Bakugo lets out a yell and opens his palms out to the Nomu, smashing them into his chest at point-blank range, screaming "Nuclear strike" before a massive explosion engulfs the surroundings in a blinding white light as Bakugo finally lets his attack that he's been brewing for the seconds he was in the air slam into the chest of the Nomu, right dead in the center. After the dust cleared enough to see, Deku was pretty confident that something that strong must have taken out the villain, but all Deku sees is a deep skid mark a couple meters in the ground from where the Nomu's feet were, a battered and bruised Bakugo seared from his own explosion, and with nothing to show for it but a quickly heal the hole in the chest of the Nomu. Meanwhile, Bakugo's arm is mangled and broken from the shockwave of his own attack. Deku, he's kind of worried now, but he sees this as a chance. Everyone's kind of still stunned by that, including that creature a little bit. And he thinks to himself, yeah, I can probably take this opportunity. I mean, Bakugo, he basically sacrificed himself for me now. I have to do this now. This is my time. And he slides across the ground, just thinking, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to beat this unbreakable object, this immovable object just standing before me? I mean, he's designed to beat All Might. I don't think I have a chance. Deku, he takes a moment to think, and suddenly he's in his own mind, and he's talking to his mentor, well, his latest mentor, Aang. And Aang's just telling him, you know, you might think All Might is this great figure and whatever, and he is. I've seen what he's done while living with you, you know, but you forget, you're the Avatar, and, you know, you might not exactly appreciate what that means in this world. It's a strange world with other superpowered beings, but you've got to remember that we've lived on for thousands of years. You've had thousands of lives, and each of them unbelievably skilled in their own ways, mastering all four elements thousands of times. And you're the same as me. I am you, you are me, and I think I can handle this, so you can as well. This flashback to, you know, his own mind, this flashback in his own mind to just, you know, a conversation he'd had with Aang, a conversation that he was reliving again, that he was having again, because he needed it. He needs this conversation, and he needs the confidence boost to try and take out this villain, because if he doesn't go ahead and give it his all, he's not going to beat him. The young Avatar, he's still a little bit dazed, but he's looking noticeably more confident after that short interim in his mind, lasting only a fraction of a second. But the Nomu had grown closer, and he'd grown close to the Nomu, because they're both moving at such speed that it's inconsequential how small the time step is. They're still going to inevitably meet at this point. Deku's skating on the ground like it's ice, and he's using his free hand to just bend earth into the Nomu's legs, unconsciously trying to distract him. Just anything he can do to try and get him away from him at the moment. Just his instincts acting, his raw instincts trying to think, you know, I don't want to die right now. I can't die right now. I have things I need to do. But Deku realizes that the thing that he needs to do right this moment is, no matter what, stop that Nomu, because he can't let it get to All Might. If it's designed to destroy All Might, and it does, then that's the symbol of peace gone, and Deku realizes this. He goes ahead and continues to get closer, despite knowing all of this, and the Nomu throws a massive punch aimed at Deku's head. But Deku sees this coming and skids under the beast's legs and behind his back. All Might busts through the door just at the right moment to see Deku launch himself into the air on one leg and throw his charged attack, the swirling orb of air, directly at the Nomu's glass covering on his head. Deku screams, cyclone cannon, as the spinning mass of compressed air shoots through the Nomu's skull and out of the bottom of his jaw, collapsing as it falls. Shigaraki's mad. Really, really mad. He sees All Might, his defeated Nomu, the stupid kids who beat him, and he knows he's lost now. They cheated Kurogiri, they used a damn cheat to beat my Nomu. He was supposed to beat All Might. How did these kids beat him? Get me out of here. You know, I think we've lost this one, because they cheated. They cheated. And Kurogiri warps away the Nomu, Shigaraki, and most of the villains before All Might can even reach them, jumping as fast as he can and letting out a punch, yelling "Detroit Smash" and destroying the wall behind where the villains once were. Everyone's left battered and bruised afterwards, heroes and villains alike, except All Might. He didn't really interfere, so he's in much better shape than in the original timeline. He leaves soon after, deciding it's probably not a good idea to overuse his transformation, and his punch was only one punch versus the 300 odd he threw in the original My Hero Academia timeline. Deku continues forwards with his training after receiving basic treatment via a little smooch by Recovery Girl, whereas Bakugo spends a considerably longer amount of time tending to his broken arm. Both continue their training after recovery, because they know that despite this incident going on, the UA Sports Festival is still going to happen, and the UA Sports Festival is their chance to announce their presence to the whole world as the symbols of peace and balance that they aspire to become. Yeah, so I think that's where I'm going to end this one this time. You know, I kind of had a little bit of a bit more story driven this time, because I felt, you know, we had a cool action one last time. This one I felt I'd fill in a little bit more, you know, story. I hope you guys didn't mind too much. You know, I know you guys quite like the fighty ones, but I felt it's important to have these kind of moments of character development, because we get to see quite a lot of that in My Hero Academia through the flashbacks and whatever. So I felt, you know, copying that style stays fairly original to the original timeline, but I decided to give it my own spin by, you know, doing it with the whole Avatar in his mind conversation, like we see in Avatar in the series if you watched it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next part. Don't forget, if you haven't, like, subscribe if you want to see more stuff. Comment about any other ideas or any suggestions or any criticism you have. I really want to hear it. Yeah, if that's all I really have to say, actually. Yeah, so see you guys in the next part. Sorry for rambling a bit. I'm a little bit, like, you know, flustered at the moment. I've been doing quite a lot of stuff today. So sorry if the video was a bit, like, you know, not up to its usual standards. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Alright, bye guys.